Ah, salut à toi, jeune visionneur et visionneuse de YouTube. Comment vas-tu? N'hésite pas à me le dire dans les commentaires. On était en train de jouer à Stanley Parable. Si tu n'as pas vu le premier épisode, je t'invite à couper cette VOD et d'aller le voir. Ou mieux, de venir me voir en stream sur Twitch. C'est quand même beaucoup mieux. Puis abonnez-vous. Du coup, voilà, on avait découvert un petit peu ce jeu. On s'est dit, bon... on est un mec dans un dans notre... Ouais, c'est reparti. Hein. Il a changé. Oh, c'est incroyable. Donc brièvement, on est quelqu'un dans un bureau qui a perdu tous ses collègues. Et on a ce narrateur, voilà, qui raconte notre vie. Sauf que des fois, il nous dit ce qu'on doit faire. Et on a la possibilité de ne pas suivre ce qu'il dit. Ce qui donne des situations un peu cocasses. Je ne vous spoilerai pas plus que ça. Vous n'avez pas vu la vidéo. Let's go.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
ah, du coup, je prends à gauche. Voilà, j'écoute pas ce qu'il dit, on s'en fout. Nous, on est là pour faire ce qu'on veut. Non, mais c'est... ouais, pour foutre ses pieds partout. Hein. Non, non, non. Tout à l'heure, j'ai sauté. Alors j'ai... parce que enfin, la dernière fin qu'on a eue, j'ai sauté, je suis allé dans ce couloir et j'ai pris la rouge. Du coup, j'ai envie de prendre la bleue. Non, c'est l'inverse.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the
story j'ai peur que ce soit trop proche de ce qu'on a fait. Écoutez, ce qu'on va faire, on va le laisser avancer.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Pour elle? Quelle histoire? Une histoire parallèle?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside.
Putain, j'ai un love interest incroyable.
She's been waiting.
J'ai un date? Une femme meuf? Excusez-moi. C'est très inclusif. Quoi? Mais... non, ça fait... putain.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then
qu'est-ce que je fais? Je décroche? Si ça se trouve, j'ai décroché. Mais... est-ce que vous avez... est-ce que vous savez que vous avez un crédit CPF? Ah mon dieu, pouf. Je peux les brancher. Oh putain, je peux les brancher.
A white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Oui.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible.
Mon chat en même temps qui fait n'importe quoi.
Check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another.
Oh, j'ai raté une fin. Bah, on la fera après.
White, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything.
Je m'en fous, je l'ai branché.
How on earth are you making meaningful choices?
T'as pas un portable?
Did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley.
Une nouvelle coupe de cheveux?
You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
Bah non, j'ai pas compris. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait?
Risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Ouais, on va regarder une vidéo.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real
Putain, ce
person.
troll incroyable.
If used
C'est génial.
incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens
J'essaye de
of
suivre en même
impoverished
temps.
third world nations. Or he could
Un peu de mal avec
systematically
les
set
Espagnols.
fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
Qu'est-ce qui...
Which
Quoi?
choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense,
Poisson.
in all likelihood, that person is not
Je vais
real.
répondre ça maintenant en
Allow
maths.
the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Quoi? Ah! Ah, on va s'entraîner. C'est génial. Allez, on s'entraîne.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best
Pourquoi il a ça?
part to a
Mais ça, c'est
healthy
des choix de
decision-making
point and click.
process. Most medical professionals recommend
D'ailleurs, il
making
faudrait que je
at least
remonte
8
cette
choices
vidéo
per day.
de
Do you
best-of.
make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually
best-of
meaningful and whether you'll ever make a
sur Discord 2,
significant
le
contribution to the
découverte.
world, just remember that in the vast
J'ai voulu tout faire rentrer en 20
infinite
minutes.
space, your
Je crois que j'ai un
thoughts and problems are materially
j'ai un peu abusé
insignificant,
sur les jump
and the
cuts.
feeling should subside.
Ah pardon, vous voulez
At this
faut
time,
suivre.
your
Suivre.
instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in
Ah oui, mais
this
j'ai pas
video.
écouté du coup. Désolé.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few
Mais
minutes
ça veut dire que je peux continuer à faire n'importe quoi
thing to do.
et ça va être de pire en pire?
This way, please.
Non, je vais par là. Il est écrit sortie. Sortie, danger. Bon, allez. Et comment ça s'appelle? Chariot élévateur, c'est sûr. Ah! Voilà, tout va bien. Est-ce que... Là, on fait demi-tour? Il a installé une rambarde, l'enfoiré.
We know your choices are meaningful. We can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
Oh, c'est vrai! Ah bah oui, il faut que je me suicide.
Dying senselessly halfway
Dans le
through
jeu.
the story. That story would make no sense at all.
On n'est jamais un...
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Ah oui, d'accord. Et si je veux refaire demi-tour? Non, j'ai pas le droit. Allez, on continue. C'est fermé. Attendez. Faudrait que je... Non. Je ne peux pas sauter et je peux pas monter sur les... J'ai un chat, c'est mystique. Peu t'importe. Ah oui, je repars au début du jeu. Du coup, il va falloir que je fasse ce qu'il faut. Ah oui, je repars vraiment.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again.
Et il ferme
and you'll
toutes les
be
portes derrière
home
moi, j'ai vraiment pas le
in the
choix.
real world.
Ce méta du streaming. Allez, fais le jeu pour que tu
Now
puisses sortir.
remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always
j'ai envie de
putting
troller
the
encore.
story first.
Et
I'm
combien
quite sure you'll be
d'embranchements?
up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Très envie de faire. Hop là.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
J'ai tout cassé le jeu. Désolé. Oui. J'ai pris la porte à gauche. Voilà. Ah.
Oh, it's It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work.
C'est incroyable.
Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I
il est fâché, hein. On n'est pas très gentil avec ce narrateur. J'ai un peu de peine pour
my
lui.
story is now incorrect. How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Ah. Oh. Oh. Ici. Allô? Ah.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish.
Oh, c'est...
You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Pardon.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Ah, cette violence.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it.
Oui, mais on l'a déjà fait, cette fin. Ça me fait de la peine de...
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah oui, mais ça m'embête de le contrarier systématiquement. J'ai envie de lui faire plaisir un peu. Ah voilà, ça remarche.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Ah oui, c'est
decided
vrai,
to
on va
go to his
retourner dans
boss's
le bureau.
hoping he might find an answer there. Coming up the staircase, Stanley walked upstairs.
Il y avait pas des marches avant, je pouvais descendre, non? Voilà. Ah oui, mais là on reprend... Bon écoutez, on en profitera pour faire n'importe quoi. Dans la salle du super ordinateur. Flip, flip, flop. Ah, c'est vert? Attends, c'est pas le même bureau? Qu'est-ce que c'est cette merde?
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode.
Ah mais ça y est.
He'd seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115.
Ça c'est du bureau de
Was
méchant.
this the code to open the door? Would it
Ça
still
doit pas être
work?
l'angoisse absolue. En même temps, je sais pas, ça ferait pas plaisir de vivre dans un truc
Stanley had
bizarre
been
comme ça.
trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Ah, on va parler. J'ai pas de voix. Allô? Allô?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Requin marteau 115. Allô?
Right there on the wall.
S'il vous plaît. Clic, clic. On m'a pas programmé avec une voix. Et ce téléphone n'est pas du tout branché.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
Ah, désolé. Hein. Et j'ai pas de voix.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better
Mais il nous
things
met trop cher ce narrateur.
to do. This one single thing
Il me
for
fait de la
your
peine, on a envie de lui faire un câlin.
The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't
Mais je
want to
peux
see
pas
what I had to
parler.
show you, then
Pourquoi
why did
tu
you
me
come
grondes?
here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Quoi?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah, c'est incroyable. J'ai glitché de jeu.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you
Ah, les
understand?
crédits. Oh, c'est vraiment la fin.
Both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose
Ah, bravo, bravo à tout le monde.
anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
Le narrateur a vraiment un côté hyper touchant,
Are you there?
perdu, on a envie de lui faire les câlins.
Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
C'est hyper touchant.
Time as you need.
Par contre, moi, je suis coincé. Ah. Oh là, cette fin. Je vous assure que ça me fait de la peine de faire de la peine au narrateur à chaque fois.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Bah oui, c'est là. Bon. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? C'est quoi le problème? Non. Ah, non. Attendez, non. Non. Ah. Mon ordi, il a failli s'éteindre. Je suis désolé. Ah bah... Au secours. Attendez, bougez pas, pardon YouTube. On arrive. On joue au jeu. Ça va bien se passer. Voilà. Moi, c'est pas ce que je voulais. Je voulais essayer de passer au-dessus. Ah. Le... Ah, mince. Bon, on avance. On sait où on va. On avance, on avance, on avance. Youp.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alors, on va prendre la porte de gauche, on va se retrouver à la fin et on va faire n'importe quoi. Je vais pas débrancher l'ordi. Ah, peut-être que je vais pouvoir descendre.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Oh no, no.
Oh, génial!
I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait.
Ah, c'est incroyable. Ils réagissent au fait qu'on est des chiens.
So much in this room. Please take your time.
Ok. Je prends mon temps. Ah, incroyable, hein. Bon, allez. Faisons le jeu. Ah, on peut descendre.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Non. On va voir ce qu'il y a en bas. Il y a par là. Hop.
But
Ah, une voiture.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he
Oh,
had left his post during
ça fait partie de
work hours.
l'histoire,
He
formidable.
might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Quelle angoisse. 1, 2, B4.
Logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet down? Why did doors close automatically behind him?
Ah, c'est tellement méta, c'est incroyable.
For that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled.
Ah non.
This is all a dream.
Oh, le coup du rêve, putain.
What relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't.
Ah oui, il faut que j'aille répondre au téléphone après.
Crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing?
Ah oui, incroyable.
Now the voice
Le
was
narrateur qui
describing
rentre dans la
itself being
diégèse,
by
qui est
Stanley, who found
intradiégétique,
it
c'est-à-dire que la
particularly
voix
strange. I'm dreaming
fait
about
partie
a
de
voice
l'histoire, fait
describing
partie de
me,
la,
thinking about
du
how
monde
it's
qui
describing
est en
my
train d'être
thoughts, he thought.
un peu comme dans un film, quand vous avez une musique intradiégétique, ça sous-entendrait que cette musique est entendue par les personnages. Par exemple, si elle était à la radio ou qu'elle était jouée par un orchestre.
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself.
Je vais faire le tour longtemps comme ça.
Je
vais arrêter de bouger parce que j'ai l'impression de...
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the...
Il va resetter le jeu ou c'est la suite?
The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife.
Ah, donc il a vraiment une femme.
Job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Attention, hein, on peut plus prononcer cette phrase. Tout va bien se passer.
Okay.
Ah. Je suis...
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have
l'histoire, elle pète un câble.
Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
On this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments,
je comprends rien et en même temps c'est incroyable.
This much she knew.
Ah mince, j'ai enlevé la touche échappe.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Si vous abonnez, vous pouvez gagner la chance de gagner une touche.
I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled.
C'est dingue, c'est complètement dingue.
The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Pardon, je remettais ma touche échappe que j'avais enlevée. Ah, on a fait une nouvelle fin. Ah, il faut que j'aille répondre à ma femme. On va faire ça.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Donc du coup, c'est... Hop. Bah, attendez, ça a changé, non? Je sais plus, je deviens fou. Ah non.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just
sûr qu'il y a 1 milliard de possibilités différentes.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley,
qui sont pas évidentes du premier coup.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Non, 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 je vais continuer, je vais répondre au téléphone. Hop là.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible.
Désolé mon gars. Ah non, je vais tomber. Je vais prendre la... Je vais répondre au téléphone après.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
ah non, je sais.
story has been about really? But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Me fait mal parler. Ce narrateur. J'aurais tellement aimé être là dans le studio d'enregistrement. Non, il a dû... Quoi?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Quoi? Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette merde? C'est incroyable. Message enregistré par moi-même pour me prévenir de faire attention aux messages enregistrés. Ouvert entre temps. En fait, c'est terrible parce que tu sais jamais si le jeu reprend vraiment ou si c'est une fin qui est lancée et du coup fait semblant de reprendre. Non, non.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded. Butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly
vraiment?
love.
Vraiment?
Une robe, vraiment. Really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating.
Une pièce, vraiment.
Have mysteriously vanished. Here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Vous voyez, je peux rester combien de temps là-dedans?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on
il continue, c'est incroyable.
reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Je me fais encore... je me fais encore bâcher par le narrateur, j'en peux plus.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
C'est quoi le message? C'est quoi le message? Bon allez, on y va.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room.
Ah, ça...
First open door
Oh
on his
non!
left.
Oh, ça... Ah non, ça n'a pas été traduit.
C'est honteux!
Ah non, alors là, non. Hein. Ah, pas traduit.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Est-ce qu'on se suicide?
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the road.
Non, je vais essayer de prendre la porte rouge. Non, c'est la bleue ou la rouge? Bref, on va voir.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Hop là.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
No.
To show you something beautiful.
No.
No. Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Allez, cette fois on traverse la rouge. Hop.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here.
Ah, ça retourne encore en rond. Quoi? Ah oui, d'accord. Bon bah, let's go. Qu'est-ce qu'il a fait?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Qu'est-ce qu'il quoi? Ce foot bagel est si fort. Mais c'est quoi ce mur? C'est Stargate? Je suis Jack O'Neill. Bon, allez.
Here.
Oh.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
Oh, il est content.
Happy.
Alors du coup, est-ce que je peux sauter? Oh, c'est joli. La drogue. J'aurais trop pris. Ah oui, là, ça donne pas envie. Hein.
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Et du coup, il faut qu'on reste là? Ça le jeu maintenant? Est-ce que... Ah non, je peux pas sauter. Une fois le jeu a pas... Désolé, on va devoir retourner dans ce truc pourri.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Tu penses vraiment que je vais mourir en montant les escaliers? Ça devrait aller quand même. Ah, je suis désolé, je lui ai enlevé sa dose de LSD.
No, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Mais c'est terrible. C'est... Vraiment?
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Bah...
No! Thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
C'est vrai que c'est joli. Oh, regardez, ça a encore changé, c'est tellement beau.
See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Voyons. Je ne bouge plus. Il va se passer quelque chose. Non. Désolé. C'est très beau, mais...
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No.
Désolé.
No, no. What do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Désolé. Ah, c'est horrible.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do... My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
Mais c'est une torture.
To keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Ça me crève le cœur.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Ah, ça me tue. Ah, on va les décrocher au téléphone.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Non, on va les décrocher. On a pris... je pense qu'on a fait à peu près tout ce que je voulais faire en bas. Maintenant, on va aller s'occuper du haut.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Non.
open, this was not the correct way to the
Bisous.
meeting room, and Stanley
Bisous, je m'envole.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Détends-toi.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic.
Encore une...
Combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
Qu'est-ce que... Mais la narration part complètement en
But
couille.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Non, je dois aller décrocher le téléphone.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
Hop là.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be
Allez,
difficult, but the
on va aller
fact
répondre au
is that the
téléphone.
story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me,
Hop.
I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Allez, on va retrouver
Put
madame.
your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oui,
That's her, Stanley. You need to be...
je décroche. Allô? C'est le compte CPF? Oh, une nouvelle...
Is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Mais c'est horrible!
I wanna
Je
commit
peux pas
my
bouger.
life to you.
Non, je suis
I'm
bloqué.
trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a
Oh
man
non!
named Stanley.
Bonjour, employé 427. Veuillez appuyer sur le bouton Y de votre clavier.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him. And
Oh non, je vais devoir faire ce que
is a
Stanley
reminder
fait.
of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Appuyez sur la touche G.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Je vois rien.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
4.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
ce mind game absolu.
had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Oh là là, mais
Another was a game with a baby. And he called it
il est en train de résumer.
Parable.
Oh non, c'est la vraie
It was
fin.
such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that
Ah
it would
voilà,
never
mais ça y
end,
est.
that he might
C'est le
always
great
feel
reveal.
this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Oh non.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
C'est 0 ou c'est O?
And I'm trying to tell him this.
Oh
That in
non,
this
ça y
world,
est.
he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Je le fais pas. Ah mais j'ai pas le choix. Il va rien se passer. Je suis sûr qu'ils l'ont fait exprès pour qu'il se passe rien.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Ah là là, quelle fin incroyable. Écoute YouTube, je pense qu'on va se laisser sur cette fin qui était bien trop puissante. Merci en tout cas d'avoir suivi cette petite découverte de Stanley Parable. Je vais te laisser toi-même découvrir les autres fins qu'on n'aurait pas fait. Je pense qu'il y a énormément notamment de succès à faire, de trucs à voir, etc. Je te laisse découvrir. Merci en tout cas d'avoir suivi cette soirée, je te fais des bisous.